My name is Juanterrance Lowe, pastor of the Stamp Branch Missionary Baptist Church located at 6588 Quaker Road, Warrenton, Georgia. I came this morning to bring a brief summary of this morning's Sunday school lesson. The topic, the reason for it all. Printed passage comes from John, first chapter, verses 1 through 14. Starting at verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. Verse 3 says, all things came into being through him, and without him, not one thing came into being. What has come into being. My brothers and sisters, we got to realize that right there, that's self-explanatory. That lets us know we would not be here today if it was not for the Lord. We would not be here today if it was not for Jesus. We would not be here today unless God allowed us to be here. He created us. He created us from nothing. He created this world from nothing. And through him, we can be something through him. But without him, we can be nothing. So we have to realize that we have to be thankful and grateful to Jesus for who he is and what he has done and what he will do in our lives. Verse 6 says, there was a man sent from God whose name was John. Verse 7 said, he came as a witness to testify to the light so that all might believe through him. Verse 8 says, he himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. He came as the forerunner. He came because he wanted to make sure everybody knew who God was. He came because he knew that God was more important than anything we had. He was not the light, but he knew Jesus was the light. He came to be the spokesman, to make sure everybody understood who Jesus really was. And then I come over here and I speak from verse 10. It says, he was in the world, and the world came into being through him, yet the world did not know him. Verse 12 says, but to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God. And verse 14 says, and the word became flesh and lived among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory as a father, only son, full of grace and truth. He came here. He walked this earth. He did everything. He said what it was to be here in human form. He did what needed to be done. He did what was required to make sure that we would have an opportunity to understand that because of sin, he had to come and he had to take sin. And he had to become the atonement for the whole world so that we would have a chance to be with our Father in heaven in the end. And when it's all said and over with, our desire, our heart, our love should be able to want to be with Christ, to want to be with God, to want to be in heaven, to want to be with heaven in eternity. Jesus came to make sure that we would have an opportunity through him. The only thing that we have to do is have faith in him